All right. So thank you for tuning in. I know Tim's write-in was super exciting. Apparently there was an impromptu unicorn naming session. I think Nanocorn was the most popular name, but my personal favorite was Vladicorn the Impaler. So if you want to take credit for that, just let me know, and I will totally give you a shout out during shout out time. That will probably be toward the end of this broadcast. And so the office is a little sparse, and it's just me today and Blobby, and I actually have some lozenges for Blobby so that he can feel well and up to this live stream. Okay, so today I'm actually going to do something a little different, and I am going to do a ceremonial ripping of a script. This is just for show. There's nothing on it, but I think I read a little too much from my script last time, so I'm going to try something new, and I think this can actually relate to writing, because a lot of the time, let's just, throw the script out and do something completely spontaneous. So, for newcomers, this is a virtual write-in where the whole Nano family gets together, engages with each other, and participates in community writing. And so how we do this is we have this live stream where we participate in word sprints. And word sprints are timed writing exercises where we try to maximize that time and get everything out. And I think it's really good conditioning. I think it keeps us on our toes, and I think we unleash new possibilities with that. So without further ado, I'm going to talk about our warm-up prompt for the first part of today, which is family trees. And I think that our family members can inform who we are, and even if we don't necessarily know them or we don't have a lot of family around us, that can influence who we are as people and, perhaps make us independent, maybe more stubborn, and just I think that if the way we interact with family can greatly influence us. And so our first warm-up prompt is going to be describe a fond memory your character has of a cherished elder. And I know elder sounds very Arthurian or fairy tale-esque, and if that works for you, great. And if not, you can just think of an older individual or a mentor. It doesn't have to do with age. And it could also just be an influential family member or person, individual that your character encountered, or anything else you come up with. And I'm excited to see what you come up with. So let's see, I will give you 7 minutes. And I have a new timer because I heard people didn't like the last. And the timer sound effect is called Silk. So hopefully it's very smooth and easy on the ears. So 7 minutes starting now. And I'm actually going to turn a fan on. It's really hot here in headquarters. So you have about a minute left. Is this timer better? Let me know. I'll stick with it if so. All right, so how about those word counts, guys? I like what Julia just put. Would you try to copy and paste it before it disappears? Oh. Almost there. Okay. 186 words by Jenalyn Barton, 260 by Pamela, 349 by Kiera, 261 by Elle the Bookworm, and this is Elle's first virtual write-in, so I think we should all give Elle a thumbs up and pats in the back at any kind of encouragement you use. So I like how when Jenny asked everybody, how do you describe the eyes of somebody who is tearing up, is going through emotional distress or turmoil? And everybody had this collaborative story building moment where they all gave Jenny different adjectives or visual indicators of eyes welling up or glistening. It was very rich and evocative, and I really appreciated that. And this is what I love about NaNoWriMo, is that we can all give each other tips and suggestions to help our journey. I like what Snow Queen Ice Princess had about a music box. And she had already encountered family in her story before and said, I've kind of done prompt 1 in my story already. My heroine who lives in New York thinks about her uncle who lives in England. He gave her a music box for her 9th birthday. And I think that's great because oftentimes we get mementos or souvenirs. I remember being so excited when one of my parents would go on a business trip and they would bring something. And I just think that those symbols can trigger flashbacks, which can be very rich for backstories. And I want to hear more about the music box. Is it the conventional ballerina spinning around music box? Is it something more eclectic? I would love to read about the sensory details of that music box. I'm just a music box aficionado. I love the look of them. I wish I could collect them, but I'm not made of money. And then Bethany said, I have writer's block. Does that count as sick? Because we're all talking about how this is the time of the year where people get sick. And I think the cure is more virtual write-ins. And Brianna said, I've literally never been so far ahead on my word count for Nano. Yeah, I think I've been more productive because of participating in this community than I've ever been before. And one more, Becca. This is a bluebird, he would say and whistle. We would nod, eyes wide. This is a robin. I didn't realize until I was adult that each call was the same. Our parents smiled behind us. That's really interesting. I don't even get the sense of how many siblings are there, but I do get the sense of just wide-eyed innocence and taking in the parents' guidance about the world, because sometimes the way our eyes are opened to the world is through the lens of our parents. And then we do become individuals after that. But it's really interesting to see origin stories and how parents can contribute to the way we see the world. And if your character, not your parent, if your character does not have parents, they might have had to learn about the world themselves. And it could have been a very tricky, but maybe rewarding process. More musical prompts, please. I think Tim would be the guy for that. He chose a really great musical piece last time. I don't know whose toes I would be stepping on. I think he might be the music guy. So the next prompt is going to be, who is that painfully awkward relative your character likes to forget about? Describe their absurd antics. You know, I think we've all been there in Thanksgiving, where you have that offbeat relative who maybe says one too many stories, who has an interesting way of articulating themselves. And I wonder, in your stories, does your character clash with any of their relatives? Do they have a relative who might be a little zany, but they're endearing and the character actually enjoys being in their presence? If you can write about a prank the relative pulled, or even just write in a way that gives me secondhand embarrassment, brownie points. So I think I'll give you 7 minutes again for that one. And I'm actually really excited about this. I don't know why, but here it is. Someone just said they crashed through the window. That was pretty good. Great entrance. We have a minute left. Ooh, I'm getting a good rating from Danny K right when the timer stops. I'm glad I caught it. Okay, can we just take a moment to appreciate everybody's epic, amazing, and startling entrances into the write-in? I thought that was great, and just please keep doing that. Defenestration Nation said that they blasted through the window. Julia Peterson says, leaves temporarily for the express purpose of blasting through the floor with a jetpack and sparkly socks. 208 words. 349 words by Martine. 278 by Doral. Great job, you guys. I am pumped. I teleport in with smoke and mirrors, and this is a really prismatic, colorful one. Brianna Watson. Well, I rode in on a dinosaur with rainbows shooting from it. So 306 by Mercy's Soul. You guys are amazing. I'm going to take out some of the write-ins that I plucked from the chat. It's really difficult. Everybody is so talented, and my eyes are so old and slow, and I'm sorry. Bethany Lish said, I'm going to stay by the food and just nibble away my anxiety issues type of relative. And I'm definitely the kind of person who loiters near the food, but hey, there's food. So that always spruces up the occasion. Rebecca Sparks said, I'm the awkward one. Hashtag, oh God. I think I'm that one too. I think you guys are beginning to realize how awkward I am, but hopefully you can tolerate that. And then Brianna Watson said, secondhand embarrassment is definition of the worst. Which, you know, I would tend to agree, but I think these moments, these glimmers of secondhand embarrassment in stories are actually really humbling. And you can check in and say, wow, there's something really humanizing about this moment in this story. And we all make mistakes and we all stumble. And as you can see, I think I'm stuttering a little bit more without my script, but it's okay. So some of the scenes I gathered were Zenflower 54. Marion has an uncle who always cooked random teas that she was allergic to. Good thing Emily was there, as she was the daughter of a healer. You gotta love those healer, clerical type, not clerical like secretary, but clerical like lay hands-on healing type of people. They're always there to save the day. Super Mommy 811, you're gonna go, because I told you. I told you you have to go. I'm your ma, and you need to listen to me. You ain't a heathen. Her voice is red. Her eyes are fire. Whew. Did anybody else get chills with that? Even with all these colors and the tonality of red and embers and fiery hues, it gives you this effect of just coldness. And I think that's amazing. Doral Elahan, who I think was talking about letters earlier, Denaya glanced across the table toward her uncle. The letter was still tightly held in her hand, but somehow she could not pluck the courage to give it to him. Are you going to tell us what's in that letter? Are you? I hope you do. I want to hear what's in that letter. And let's see, I guess one more because we only have a half hour left. Sad face. She was a professional victim. You couldn't talk about any subject without her interjecting how much worse off she was. If you mentioned taking a walk, she would complain about her knees. What a Debbie Downer. I'd like to hear how that Debbie Downer type of character affects your story. Does it drag it down? Does it increase the comedy with some levity? Does it just make everybody uncomfortable or sad? Let me know. Okay, so we're going to move to our flash prompt, which is an experiment. We were in the chat talking about, should we sneak in another prompt? And I decided a flash prompt might help with this. It could be about siblings. It could be about best friends. It could just be people who are permanent fixtures in your character's life. But the flash prompt is, how would your character feel about having siblings? Or if they already have siblings, what is their opinion on them? And by popular demand, we were also talking about best friends. So if you want to talk about best friends, I think it's always cool to hear about who the sidekicks are, because they have a very important role in stories. So since it's a flash prompt, I'm going to give you 4 minutes. And if you hate me for it, I'll take it. I'll write down the feedback and I won't do it again. So 4 minutes. "47 seconds about?" I'm not getting any complaints about this timer, so that's good. All right, word count time, word count time. And I will give a space for word counts and then move on to sharing. Writing is not overrated, but it could be a process. It could be chatting, and then later you percolate, and the idea comes to you when you're walking. 2:06. 246 by Pleasant Street, 128 by Mal Laurie. 43 is still a proper number. Not an even number, but a proper number. It's solid. 200 even. I love even numbers. And Super Mommy 811, don't worry about following the prompts. They're guidelines. Okay. I'm really sad because there's a lot of great material here and it's just getting sucked up by the chat. I need quicker fingers. Okay, so what I compiled was from Snow Queen Ice Princess. My character has two crazy cousins, one who is big and strong and has a soft personality, and a short one who is hot-headed. I like the inverse proportionality there. Short but a strong, hot-headed spirit, and tall but gentle. It's interesting how we can play with contrast and the unexpected in stories and really reverse stereotypes. I think that's what's really great about writing is we can open up a window to a world that people hadn't considered before. And I also have DJ Evans. My character has 5 brothers. It was 9, but I realized they weren't all necessary, so I condensed them to 5. That's really funny. Somebody's total word count is 15,000. That is fantastic. Original Puck says, the gardens were beginning to fade. Many of the trees still had their leaves on them. It was cold and beautiful, and her nerves shot upwards. So see, I didn't see anything about a best friend or a sibling, and that still caught my eye. You guys can do whatever you want. This one is really funny. This is when I laughed, and I'm sorry that I keep laughing. You guys just bring that out in me. Fallout Puser Schmidt said, one of my characters has 37 siblings. He's an amphibian, and they lay eggs in clutches of 10 at a time. So I think that's really funny. You can have different species that have different ways of bearing children, not to get TMI, but, you know, just people can have different families, and you can really take advantage of that and build something completely new and be an iconoclast, be a rebel, and show people that family can be different than what we see on TV or what we're familiar with. So I'm really sorry I'm not putting in as much prompts as I want to. I really love what you guys come up with. Okay, prompt 3. What strange tics, habits, or ideals does your character have that sets them apart from their family? And so before we were talking about awkward relatives and really turning this critical eye to the relative, but now I'm thinking we should turn this to the character and observe maybe they're different somehow. Maybe they have a trait or a tic that sets them apart. And that's probably the sticking point. That's probably the entry point that gets people into your story and says, huh, I've never seen anybody like this before. I've never encountered anyone like this before. But I want to know more. And I want to know more about your MC, your main character. So let me know. And how are we doing on time? I think we can get away with 6 minutes. So let's say 6 minutes. And insomnia counts. Somebody asked.
About 1 minute. It's hot today. Okay. How was that for everybody? Did you discover anything new about your character? Did you come up with anything different? But right now, it's word count time. Word count time. Come on. Not judgment, just I want to know. 197 by Laura E.T. I will tell Tim you said hello. 146 words by Ayana. 341 by Jagtress. 208 by Isabella Lockett. 257 by Izzy Busy Art.
Oh, you guys are, oh, wow. Here's a flood of just really productive word counts. Good job, guys. A whole sheet of gold stars for all of you, gold stars. There you go. All right. Now I'm going to read from what I compiled, and I'm going to try to get through all of them, and I don't know if I have time for any more, but I really wish I did. So Alex Pinto was on a roll, and it was just super imaginative and innovative. So the first piece Alex wrote was, Nell believes that her family's view of the outside world is too closed off. Hence why she joins a group of sky thieves, as you do. I love the concept of, is it a sky empire? It's just really interesting to think of these aerial type of pirates, and just the shift from I'm not feeling the way my family is dealing with the world to, well, the only solution is to be a sky pirate. I mean, that makes sense to me. And Alex also wrote, when did he pass away? Oh, I was never married, dear. No. I always killed them before they had the chance to propose. From the widow. Whew. So she just lives to be a widow. That is creepy. I love it, though. Armand Bloodstar said, Rill snarled as he scrambled up the rock side. You okay back there? The shout of his companion called from ahead. Rill's curses filled the air. Sounds very adventurous. I'm thinking that's probably from the best friend or companion prompt, or maybe you just came up with it. It's really interesting. Evalie Archer, I love fan fiction. It's official. The world of fan fiction has sucked me back, and there's no going back. My mom thinks I'm crazy. Is it going to be like an adventure story or something that's like magical realism, and they get sucked in to, it's very meta, sucked into the story of a story, inception of stories. It's cool. And Brianna Watson said, fan fiction ruined my life. I actually think that fan fiction is a really great outlet for creative types. Some of the best writers I know purely write fan fiction. It's great. Let's see. So we only have 10 minutes left. So I'm going to have to jump to Danny K. I choked back tears at the sense of belonging, something I'd never experienced growing up. And it's just so rich and potent with possibilities. You don't know who the group of people is or what the environment is that gives this character a sense of belonging, but you know it's a better position than the character was before, and they made some sort of growth or development. Somebody has a grass blower over there. I hope you can still hear me. But yeah, I love that sense of belonging, and I honestly feel that sense of belonging being here with you. So it resonates. Okay, so we have, I think, we're gonna have to have shorter prompts, but I think we can go over a little. Prompt 4, describe how your character's family ended up where they are now. Does your character wish to stay? So does your character have wanderlust, or are they completely content with where they are and they're just trying to deal with the home environment they're already stuck with? Stuck is, I guess, sounds negative, but you know, this grass blower is just, it's hard to concentrate. Anyway, whatever inspires you, let's see. 5 minutes, because we're kind of running short on time. I can close the window, but I hopefully don't faint from heat exhaustion. That weed blower. All right. Okay, I have to resist putting more in my list of phenomenal prompt responses. Okay, so word count time. Gotta make this one quick. And while I wait for that, I guess I'll read a couple of the responses. Heavily Archer said, my character's on an adventure and she's homesick but doesn't want to go back. And I totally relate with that. Brianna Watson, I'm avoiding the prompts because my character's family is a plot hole I'm too lazy to fix. You do you, Brianna. But good luck with your plot holes. I'm sorry if I created some by the family theme today. Okay, so word count time. 207 by Jagtress, 310 by Julia Peterson, 71 by Emily Archer, only 71, but I chose one of your prompts. I liked it. 211 by Monica. Very, very wonderful, guys. You guys have great word sprint stamina. You are blowing me away. Okay, so back to prompts. Prompt responses. Alex Pinto. LOL, I'm finding out so much about my character's family. They started out as street rats, but I've discovered so much today. Transformers. Characters can be transformers. They can turn into anything. Isn't it great how just the delete button or new ideas, the copy and paste, put something in? I don't know what I'm saying. I think the heat is getting to me. But the point is, characters are mutable. They can change. I think we don't have that much time, so I'm going to jump into Emily Archer because I promised I would bring up her prompt. I'm sorry I sucked you into this, she says before disappearing around the corner. I sigh. I don't want her to feel guilty, but I'm sorry she sucked me into this too. I like how your character has empathy for the other character, but she's also admitting, I'm not okay with this, or it's kind of weird, or it's not a situation I want to be in. Okay, so we're going to go to the last prompt. I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble by headquarters. Hopefully not. But I think this is important because I want to hear about hometowns, your hometown, your character's hometown. So the last prompt is write a word sprint ode. So it's not going to be Beowulf. Don't feel bad that it's not Beowulf. But, you know, something short, word sprint length, a word sprint ode to your character's hometown or your hometown. It could be in praise, jest, or any other tone that comes to mind. Yeah, I grew up in Daly City where the dead outnumbered the living, so that greatly informs my writing. It's kind of dark. Want to hear about yours? So we're going to have 5 minutes starting now. Proper posture. I don't want to slump. One minute. Okay. I'm feeling sad about this. We're running over. So I think, and please forgive me, you can all celebrate your word counts. Let us know about them, but I think I'm going to jump right into the responses of what you all came up with. Alex Pinto said, same number of churches as liquor stores. Sinners who search forgiveness. Super Mommy 811. Only one light. Only one light. Traffic gets congested. Only one light. Everyone gets angry at the traffic jam, especially when that bridge goes up. Everyone waits for hours. Ugh. Traffic angst. I don't know a lot about it because I don't drive, but I feel for you. Danny K, the taste of dust was a familiar one. Often it came with a hint of shampoo, as the wind that stirred the dry ground would also whip locks of hair into my face. That's such an interesting combination, dust and shampoo. I would have never thought of it, but it's very sensory. Doral Elahan, rings out, great bells in the castle, tell of an heir to be shown, show me the flowers in your garden, where royals of youth will be grown. And I heard that Doral was listening to music during this ode prompt, and I think that's a great technique. So that's it, guys. I'm still figuring this out. I'm a little under the weather. In the gaming world, they would call me a noob, a newbie. I don't really know what I'm doing, but we will figure it out together. And stay tuned for next Thursday, where we will talk about upbringing and the making of a hero. So we're finally going to get to heroism and your character really developing as an individual and taking on new challenges that shape them into something great. You don't have to do it, though, as always. So thank you. I'm sorry. I think I tumbled over a lot of words, but hey, I didn't faint on air, so that's always a plus.